Hey everybody, I'm at one of my favorite places anywhere, the Nikon Museum. I've been a Nikon guy since the beginning of my career, so I wanted to share this with you. Come, let's take a look inside the Nikon Museum. Okay, we are here walking in, and the first thing you see, the first thing you're greeted by is this giant ingot, which, depending who you talk to, is worth $2 million or $10 million. And it's the high quality glass they use when they make their stepper machines, which make semiconductors, that kind of thing. And look, this is rare. It says, please touch. Usually it says, please don't touch. Feels good, this high-end glass. You know, I wouldn't do this to my Nikon 24-70 but for this, I'm gonna do it. So this is when you get into the museum. So come on, let's go check it out. They have kind of an exhibition which they change up a lot. Right now it's on railways, and that's a big deal here in Japan. I know a lot of photographers like to document anything train. So let's continue on. The Nikon F, this was a big deal for Nikon. When it was introduced in 1959, it literally kind of changed the way photographers shoot and really put Nikon on the map. I mean, Nikon's always been an optical company, but of course, cameras and optics go hand in hand. And the Nikon F was a major revolution in photography. And you know, the Olympics are coming in 2020, so that's a big deal. They said the D6 is going to come out soon. And you know, pre-Olympics, that's often when a lot of the new stuff is introduced. You can see here, 1964, when the Olympics were here in Japan, this 1000mm f6.3 and some of the other innovations really designed for the sports photographer. And we know that the D6 is coming, and it's going to be introduced long before the Olympics in 2020. And hopefully there'll be a few other little surprises. I'm a mirrorless guy now, so I'm hoping there'll be some new Nikon mirrorless stuff to come. Because we're in the Nikon Museum, we have to pronounce it properly. Nikon is how you do it. So now we can come in and we can see all these cameras. And you know, I've been doing photography long enough that I kind of remember a lot of these. I guess I'm old, but I can remember a lot of these cameras because I started out with the Nikon when I was like 12 years old, and I am older than 12 now, and I'm still a Nikon guy. I've never wavered. As a matter of fact, this looks like, oh, these are Nikon F2s. I remember them very well. The thing I notice about Nikon manual focus, older cameras, the film cameras, is that, you know, they're small because they don't have the vibration reduction mechanism. They don't have the autofocus stuff. So they're made very small, and you know what? They're super smooth. When you feel the lens and you turn that lens, man, even though they're old, they feel just so nicely, beautifully built. And you know, all over Japan you can find a lot of great used equipment in pristine condition. The Nikon F3, you know, in the digital realm, things change so quickly. I don't know if you know, but the Nikon F3 was for sale brand new at your local camera store that had professional cameras for 19 years. For 19 years, this camera was state of the art. In the digital realm, man, every couple of years there's something new. That's old in the tooth, but in the film world, it was a little bit different. So let's continue down. I can see there's a Nikon underwater camera with the orange on it. That's pretty cool. And oh, remember the Nikon TI, the little pocket camera, that was nice too. And check this out, I would love to own a camera cut in half like this. It doesn't say, is that an F5 cut in half? But you can see, first off, that was a precision saw that did this, but you can see the inside and how things are constructed, and pretty amazing. That would be nice on my shelf, but I don't think I can get one. They won't let me take one. So let's just continue down here. Every Nikon camera that was ever made was here. You know, from the Nikon 1 rangefinder to the Coolpix line, like all these little cameras, pretty well wiped out by phone cameras. I mean, the iPhone is the most popular camera in the world. And photography is constantly changing. The market's constantly changing. So Nikon is not the company it used to be, of course. it had to sort of move with the times, and it's doing so. Maybe a little slower than some people would like it to, but man, the mirrorless cameras, fantastic. I'm loving them. So you can see, even in the Instagrammy world, just before digital cameras maybe kind of ended, you can see that Nikon made different color cameras for people that wanted to match their camera with their outfit, that kind of thing. And then we're down here to the 60th anniversary of the Nikon F, the camera I first showed you when we came in here. And these are all the iterations of the Nikon F, all the way up to the F3 limited edition, which is here. A lot of times they'll make a limited edition camera, and amongst collectors, and it's a small group, but there's value in them. I tend to buy a camera and eventually sell it, but wait for it to lose all its value. But if you hold on to it long enough, chances are it will start to appreciate again, because people appreciate the Nikon equipment, the Nikon brand, and they collect it. So I'm very excited. It's just kind of fun to be here. I know it's not about the tool, it's about photography itself and the vision of the photographer, but I kind of like the tools, absolutely. Nikon really is an optical company at its heart, and it's all about the lenses, about the Nikon glass. And at the museum, it kind of shows you the step-by-step process of what they do and how they make the lenses. I had the good fortune a long time ago, when my first time in Japan, I got to go to the Sendai factory and watch how some of the lenses were made. And it's pretty amazing. Even today, the high-end lenses, there's a lot of hand manufacturing done. It's not all robotics. And to make those high-quality lenses, and that's why sometimes, there's a lot of competitor lenses that are not the Nikon brand. High quality, good glass, but in terms of the durability and robustness, really nothing beats the Nikon brand when it comes to that. And speaking of lenses, just about every lens in the Nikon line is right here, from the widest of the wide to a lot of these super telephoto lenses down here. And it used to be that you buy a lens and then 10 years later you can sell it for more than what you paid, because that lens is still on the market. But in the digital realm, things are changing a little too fast, and you got to sort of figure out if it's a tool, you want to have it for a while. If you want the new one, you got to sort of sell at the right time. Check this out. What is this? 1964 1200 millimeter f11. 1200 millimeters. Wow. That is quite the piece of glass. Let's continue on talking about the Nikon F-mount and the evolution of the Nikon F-mount. And in the world of eBay, chances are every single lens here, if you plugged it in, you'd be able to find it and you'd be able to purchase it, if you're looking for an old lens. And now with the new mirrorless cameras and the ability with focus peaking to manually focus, I think it's kind of breathing new life into the old manual lens market. And Japan is a great place to be for that. Ultimately, most of these lenses are unaffordable. Check this out. I forget how much this is going for, but this looks like the 6mm fisheye lens, which allows you to take everything in front of you and probably a selfie too, and everything behind you. Look at the glass on that, 360 degree. Does that make sense? It could be. Well, there you have it. We're here at the Nikon Museum. I just wanted to give you a little bit of a taste of this for fellow Nikon fans out there. And I hope when you come to Tokyo, you got to come here to the Nikon Museum. Admission is free, and you got to come here. By the way, there's a little souvenir stand at the end too, where they have all kinds of cool little products that you could purchase on the way out, which I might do. But that's it. Bye for now.